I know, you can't believe it. Pimp My Setup is finally back.
Oh my god, I'm so happy!
Calm down, okay? You're embarrassing yourself, but I also don't blame you. You're probably wondering what I've been up to for the last 5 months, but to simply put it, there's not enough time in a day to list off that many accomplishments. Before I start the episode, I want to quickly say thank you for all the support thus far, and I hope that you guys stick by my side as I have some pretty big goals for 2018, and this is just the beginning. This is a very, very rough idea of how the show is going to be for the year, and I still have to build out the set. All I have right now is a chair and a wall. There's going to be a lot more. Stay tuned for that. And every episode of Pimp My Setup is going to feature a guest. I did have a guest for this episode. The guest got sick, and he'll be on at another date, but I do have Snazzy Q coming on next week and some other cool people lined up, so stay tuned for all that exciting stuff. I also have a website coming out where you guys are actually going to score each setup before the episode airs, and you're also going to leave your own feedback. I'll read out your feedback on the show, and I'll also show off the overall viewer score. And finally, please let me know your feedback down below in the comment section. I will preface it by saying I'm not going to do live shows anymore. It's just not feasible, but I will be doing a live stream prior to every single episode launching. So for every Sunday from here on out at 12 p.m. Eastern time, there's going to be a new episode of Pimp My Setup. And at 11 a.m., I'll be live on Twitch and YouTube. You guys can tune in, chat with me, and then right when I'm done with the stream, the new episode will come live on YouTube. So bear with me as I figure things out. It's going to be a bit of a rocky start, but we'll get it figured out eventually. And without further ado, it's time for episode 1 of Pimp My Setup.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
On this episode of Pimp My Setup, I'm not doing that intro anymore. What's up, everybody? Welcome to season 3 of Pimp My Setup, episode number 1. I'm your host, Matt Philly, and yeah, we're back, better than ever. Things are great. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Help us get to 200K. We're almost there, kind of in a way, not really, but we were stuck at 175 for the longest time. The channel was it was dead. It was dead, but we're back now, and hopefully you can help us get to 200K. Also, I would love if you were able to help support the show. Only $1 a month. That's it. $1. That's $12 a year. Quick math. Go to swashin.tv/support. Sign up. It's $1 a month, and also you get a special rank on our Discord server. All those links are down below. So since this is the first episode and I don't have a guest today, I'm going to take some extra time to explain the new format. Currently, we only have one episode a week every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Now, if I do get a lot of support on the swashin crew, I will up it to 2 episodes a week. Each episode is going to have 5 setups. We're keeping the same rating system, which is 5 categories, each out of 10 points. And for now, since it's just me, it's going to be times 2. So every episode, I'll go through each setup and I'll give my pros, my cons, some ideas that I have. And then from there, at the end, I'll hand it on over to my special guest. They'll go in and give their pros and cons and choose their favorite setup, and that will wrap it up. So that's a quick explanation on how everything's going to work for this format, unless I make any changes in the future. But for now, that's how we're doing things. Get excited. A new guest every week is going to be exciting. You guys will even be able to come on as a guest, and it's just going to be fun. So without further ado, let's finally get into the setups. So first up, we have Robin. Robin is 15 years old and he uses the setup for gaming, watching movies, and schoolwork. So the first thing I realize in this setup is that it's simple, it's straightforward, very easy to digest, and of course, it also has the black and red color theme, something we've seen many times before. Now, he did a good job with it. It's a very symmetrical setup, and it's really not bad. As you guys know, I'm very into personality, and in this situation, it's lacking that big time. And if anything, I think more black and red could have helped big time here. A hue bulb in that lamp would have worked very well. And going off that, the blank walls, not helping. That is a blank canvas, quite literally. And what you should do is put something up there, even if it has black and red and it's a big print, something that just goes into your personality, tells a little bit about yourself, because the problem with this is anybody can replicate this. They can buy the same products, pop it up against a wall, and that's it. It's not yours. Now, off to the left of the desk, there is a lot of empty space that I think could be utilized, whether you put, I don't know, a mini fridge, stuff, I don't know. There's literally so many endless options that you could put there, even just a drawer, because you don't have any storage from the looks of it. That would be beneficial. And plus, you could put some figures on it, whatever. Just something that makes it yours. But ultimately, I gave him 9 on wire management, 10 on out of sight, out of mind, 9 on usability, 9 on accessories, and a 5 on personality. So it goes to show personality is pretty important. The next setup is submitted by Ashton, who's also 15. He uses setup for editing videos for his YouTube channel, Trashton. He watches YouTube, Netflix, plays some PS4 games, and all that fun stuff. You can tell this guy loves the Tigers. It's definitely no secret, and he's definitely a big baseball fan in general. He even has his name Ashton spelled out using different team logos, which I think is super cool. And like the last setup, that was something that could be replicated. This can't be replicated. This is Ashton's setup. Now, as far as the setup goes, it is very straightforward. It's a typical IKEA combo kit that we're seeing, and nothing wrong with that. Something I always recommend is a docking station, and this setup could definitely use one because he's powering his setup with it, but he's not actually using the screen on the laptop, the keyboard on the laptop, and therefore it shouldn't be open. There's really no reason to have it open. And also that right side, with having it empty, it's just kind of like driving me crazy, but I know you're probably using it for schoolwork or something like that, and if you're not using it for schoolwork, you didn't say, I would just kind of be confused as to like what you're looking to accomplish with a desk that long and only using half of it. Ashton did pretty damn well, getting 3 8s, a 9, and a 10, bringing his score to an 86. Let's move on to the next setup submitted by Lewis. He's 14, he uses setup for gaming, and he wants to know what he can improve on. I have to be honest with you, Lewis, this is confusing. Very, very confusing, because it's deceiving in the sense that you look at the top and you're like, great setup, good job. But you look below and you see a drawer right where your legs go. Now, in season 2, I said this quite a few times, and I'll say it again. If you don't have legs, I'm sorry, I just offended, and I apologize. But I'm going to assume you have legs, and I'm going to just question why you've kept it there for so long. When I was looking at the right piece of the desk, I thought to myself, I don't know if that's really ideal because it is eating up a bit of space. It is forcing you over to the left just a little bit. But then I was like, you know what? That's not that big of an issue. What's a big issue is just taking the drawers and moving it to the right side. Do that right now, Lewis. I want you to get up. No. Get up and move it right now. Now, when you do this, you're going to have to also work on your cable management a bit. Now, I'm not saying your cable management is awful, but I'm not saying it's great. You're off to a good start. You have the right idea. You know that Velcro should be in the equation. But of course, when you remove the drawers, the power strip is not just going to be floating there, and you also should have never put it on top of that in the first place. If anything, if you were to keep that there, you want to hide all your cables behind that. Utilize it. So when you do move the drawers over to the other side, try to kind of build something in one of the corners that can sort of contain all your cables, and don't just kind of have it come down and then cross off to the left and to the right. That's not ideal. And you do want to get a headphone hook or a headphone stand or something, because leaving it on your PC is not 10 out of 10. Definitely add more to it down the road. Get real speakers, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. Usability really hurt Lewis because he got a 2, which brought his overall score to a 64. Also, I apologize. I am starting to lose my voice, which is annoying. Next setup is submitted by Jack. He's 15 years old. He's set up for photography and photo editing, and this is what he said in his email. Hi Matt, I was on episode 121 with a dual monitor setup, and after starting a business and saving money, I was able to buy a brand new monitor and take your advice. I mainly use my setup, which runs off of one of the last old style MacBooks, to edit all the client photography as well as my own stuff, and I also do schoolwork on this desk and study computer science. If you want to check out his Instagram, it's Jack Carter, but the A in Jack is a 4 because why not? So I'm also going to be honest with you as well, Jack. First off, it's clean. You did a good job. You do have personality. It's pretty good. But here are my flaws. This new sexy monitor that you saved up and spent your hard-earned money on doesn't look as cool. And additionally, it's kind of being suffocated. Now, of course, there's breathing space, and I'm over exaggerating, but it just doesn't work. An ultra wide in a very, very small confined hutch is really no bueno. Now, honestly, my main problem here with the hutch is not only that it's taking up a lot of space, and also that you're not really fully utilizing each shelf. They're all kind of like one object here, one object there, couple camera lenses, blah, blah, blah. But I also think looking at your keyboard's up against it, your mouse is very close to it, you're confining yourself. There's not a lot of space to use your peripherals, which is eating up your usability, and your monitor is kind of within this little window. So for me personally, the obvious thing to do here is get rid of the hutch. Now I know there's probably reasons why you love it. You love showing off different things that you have. You love the LED strips and whatnot. But for me, and having an ultra wide and doing what you do, I have a hard time really giving it a full thumbs up. Also, you have that TV right there, and that TV looks like it's right up against the hutch as well, which doesn't really look great. And also with your laptop right there, imagine you got rid of the hutch and you had a vertical stand for the laptop. It would actually fit on the actual desk that you have your ultra wide on. Also, little things like the drawers off to the left aren't touching the desk. Like things like that, just kind of close it up because you can see the cables coming through. So just seal that shut. And you're also not putting anything on top of the hutch. So again, the idea of a hutch is cool, but you're just not fully utilizing it. So if you really want to stick with it, you got to go and just go all out. And along the bottom of the desk, those cables are easy to fix, especially that one in the corner. If you want to let it ride along the bottom, that's fine, but don't let it droop and kind of like sag there. Just kind of pluck it up, bam, done, easy. But as far as the walls go, you have cool stuff. I think, again, if you were to get rid of the hutch, you could kind of move that stuff around into a spot that makes a little bit more sense. Jack did pretty average, getting 2 7s, a 9, a 6, and an 8, bringing his score to a 74. The next and final setup of the day is submitted by Caleb. He's 13 years old. He uses a setup for YouTube. If you want to check him out, it's Dragon with 3 Z's, because maybe the dragon's sleeping. I don't know what the reason is there. He also uses a setup for homework because he's actually homeschooled, and he also uses it for gaming. He wants to know what does his setup lack and what will he need to do to improve it. So right off the bat, it's simple. You got a little bit of a color combo going on there. You know, the first guy had a full on black and red into all of his accessories and stuff, so you could step it up to the next level. But yeah, it's fairly organized. It's really a pretty decent setup, and for 13, it's a kick-ass setup. The mason jars with all your little knickknacks and stuff is a pretty interesting idea, so kudos there. The plant is actually, it's pretty nice. I'm not a fan of fake plants. I don't know if it's fake or it's real. Either way, it kind of works. It gives it some complementary colors, I think. Maybe, I don't know how that works. Now, in this situation, you are using your laptop as primary, which to me, I don't think I could personally do that. But of course, your laptop is what's powering your setup, so why not just kind of stick with it? Now, for me, down the road, I would probably inverse it. I would go straight forward, put the monitor there, and then have the laptop off at the angle. And you could still use it as a separate monitor, which would be nice, but you could also get a separate keyboard. You already have a separate mouse, might as well just have a separate keyboard as well. And again, you have blank walls. This is something we see very often, so there really is no personality in this setup. I mean, you have a plant and mason jars full of random stuff, but that's not going to cut it. So I definitely think you should add more to it. Blank canvas, put your favorite things up on the wall, and call it a day. The one reason why I had a hard time with the cable management in this setup is you have that whole thing bunched up right there. You got to kind of clean that up. That's not really cable management. That's not ideal. The power strip's very cool. Nice. That works. It's not a big deal. It's a great setup, and you're only 13. So you have a lot of years ahead of you and a lot of potential in your setup. So keep it up. You'll get there in no time. Caleb did really well in some categories and just okay in others, but in personality, he only got a 2, which brought his score to a 66. The final scores are up on the board. Ashton wins with 86, and Lewis gets the lowest score with a 64. I know this format is definitely different from the last season, but I hope you enjoy it. It's gonna get better. Having a new guest every week is gonna be awesome as well, because that offers a fresh perspective, and ultimately, it's just gonna get better because I'm listening to viewer feedback. Plus, you guys will be scoring setup soon and have a bigger part on the show. So stick with it. I hope you guys continue to support me, and I appreciate you guys getting this far into this episode. Be sure to subscribe and like this video. Also, check out all the links down below. If you want to support $1 a month with the Swashin crew, that link is down below. If you want to follow me on all my social networks, all those links are down below. So there you go, guys. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Pimp My Setup. I'll see you next time. Don't forget, I'm Matt, feeling you're not. Get out of my face. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the flippity flop.